Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, and contact Dayspring Discussions on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Well, happy Thursday, everyone. Hope you all are enjoying your week, getting ready for the weekend, Memorial Day weekend, guys. What's your big plans? Me, myself, I'm going to take the family up to Dallas. We're actually going to go to the Six Flags up there in Dallas, just spend a little time, couple of days, having some fun. Looking forward to it. Should be a good time, guys. A lot of good movies coming out this weekend, too. Brightburn, the James Gunn produced film, kind of an anti-Superboy story. That's kind of what people are calling it. Reviews seem to be okay. People are calling it very twisted and dark, so I'm very interested to see that. And of course, the big one is Disney's Aladdin, the live-action remake of the 1992 film. Aladdin being my favorite animated movie of all time. I was not super excited about it because it didn't really look that great, but early reviews are saying that it is great, or at least decent, and some more behind the scene featurettes that I've been looking at make it seem like it's pretty good. So I'm actually more excited to see that now. I'm able to take my daughter next week to go see that, so I'll share my thoughts on that film later on. Brightburn, I'm honestly contemplating maybe going to see that tonight. I don't know. If I do, of course, I'll share my thoughts on it. Speaking of movies, of course, like I said last time, I went and saw John Wick 3 Parabellum on Tuesday night. And just to say, really, yeah, it's a John Wick movie. It's full of violence. To be honest, though, there were times where I could tell, the choreographed fight sequences were a little too choreographed, I guess, where Keanu Reeves was moving a little slower compared to everyone else. And, it was a John Wick film. It was still enjoyable. Of course, they've already announced they're going to do part 4. If you saw the film, you know how it ends. You know they're doing a part 4 based on the story anyway. The movie's made money, so I'll go see part 4 when it comes out too. With this one, I enjoyed it. There were parts of it, of course, like I said, it's just, yeah, these films are about the violence, but at some point you have too much violence and not enough story, and I think they need to come back and balance it out a little bit more. One thing I was thinking too was the high table, you call him, right? John Wick goes to the desert, which, by the way, this is a little spoiler, so you haven't seen the film, sorry. He goes to the desert to find basically the leader of the high table, from what my understanding is, to try to ask for forgiveness for what he did. This guy lives in the desert, okay? He's a high, powerful person, makes the rules for assassins, whatever. Why does he live in the goddamn desert, okay? He should be living in a penthouse in, London or New York or something like that. The desert? Come on, man. Whatever, okay? But it was an enjoyable film. If you enjoyed the last 2 John Wick films, go see them, of course. I think you'll like those as well. And, of course, fire back. Let me know what you think. Now, I could talk more about that, guys, but got a lot of stuff to get to, of course. 2 subjects in particular I know I'm going to spend a lot of time about. One is the new Terminator Dark Fate trailer, or the first trailer just dropped, so I want to talk a little bit about that. Of course, yesterday, Vanity Fair dropped their coveted Star Wars cover for the new Star Wars film, The Rise of Skywalker. I want to get a little into that as well. And then also, I got to talk a little bit about Robert Pattinson. Okay? Look, I'm going to be brief because, like I said, I don't have time to talk about much anything else. Robert Pattinson in final negotiations to play Batman in Matt Reeves' The Batman film. People are freaking out about it. Oh my God, Robert Pattinson is the Twilight guy. Ah! Look, guys, go see these 3 films. The Rover, The Last City of Z, and Good Time. If you've only seen him in Twilight, you haven't seen Robert Pattinson, okay? I'm not saying he's the greatest actor ever. I'm just saying he's a good actor, okay? So all you people who are crying about him being Batman, you should be so lucky to have that quality of an actor be Batman, okay? If you don't like him, you don't like him. That's fine. But don't, come out and say he's not a good actor because of Twilight. He's done many, many films since then. And he's not even, it's not official yet. Yes, he's looking to final negotiation, but so is, I believe it's Nick, I want to say Stahl, but I know that's not right. The guy who plays Beast in X-Men. He's also in the running. Honestly, I think he's a great actor too, but I'd rather have Pattinson. I was talking to my buddy on the phone the other day. He's like, well, he doesn't look like Batman. What the fuck does that mean? Okay? Come on. He doesn't have the look. The look. He's a handsome gentleman, okay? Ask the ladies. He's a handsome gentleman. He can put on some pounds, okay? He can be Batman, all right? And you know what? The actor in a film is a small, bitty part of what actually makes a film good, okay? The director is a big part, okay? So Robert Pattinson, he's a good actor. He's going to go in, he's going to act good. Whether the film's going to suck or not, he's only a small piece of it, okay? The rest of it, a big chunk of it, is going to be left to the writers, the directors, the editors, the producers, the guys who actually take care of the film. Pattinson's got to do his part, but he's a good actor, and I have no doubt that if he is picked, he will do his part, guys. So let's just settle that right now. If you want to talk more about it, of course, fire it back on the social media groups and Gmail account, and I'll be glad to do so. Okay, before I get to the Star Wars news, of course, I want to talk about the new Terminator trailer that dropped this morning, Terminator Dark Fate. The new film directed by Tim Miller, the guy who directed Deadpool. The movie's coming out November 1st, and this is technically, I believe, the 6th Terminator film in the franchise. The original one was directed by James Cameron way back when. I consider it kind of a B-rated 80s sci-fi film. I mean, people are like, oh, it's such a classic. I'm like, okay, the story was good. Yes, indeed. But look at the quality, okay? The scene at the end where, Arnold is burned away and you just have the Terminator skeleton. Come on now, guys. That's not exactly high quality effects. So I still consider it a B-rated sci-fi film. Really, the film that this franchise is built on was Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Of course, everyone loves that film. I think it's great. Great action, great story, gravitas, I guess you would say to it. And really, it's the film that this franchise is built off of, and everyone's trying to duplicate since then. You had Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, Terminator Salvation, Terminator Genesis, or Genesis, as some of us like to call it funnily, and now you have Terminator Dark Fate. Now, this one allegedly wipes out the rest because the previous 3 films, for the most part, weren't liked. I enjoyed Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, actually. I didn't think it was, on the same level as Terminator 2 Judgment Day, but I still enjoyed it. Didn't like Salvation, and then Terminator Genesis was just, I don't know, it seemed off, I guess. Seemed a little off to me. But Dark Fate, you got James Cameron back as producer. Of course, like I said, Tim Miller is directing. And you got Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor herself, back. Now, obviously, when you bring a character like that back, given the fact that in Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, John Connor says that his mother got cancer and died, obviously we're not playing by the same rules as Terminator 3, so this takes place, the true sequel, so to speak, of Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It just came about 26 years too late. Anyway, this time around, looks like we have our main hero, played by Mackenzie Davis, as known as Grace, is protecting a young woman, Dani Ramos, from Terminator, played by Gabriel Luna. His Terminator, of course, another offshoot or a little more advanced of what we saw from the T-1000 back in Terminator 2. They're being chased by him, and of course, Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton, shows up to help them out and save the day. What I want to know is, where's John Connor? Where is the guy who actually protects the world from, the machines? I don't even see him, looking on IMDb page, I don't even see him on the list. Now, of course, Arnold's back as the Terminator. We saw a brief shot of him in the trailer. I'm not sure what's going on as far as them trying to protect this woman, Dani Ramos, played by Natalie Reyes. It could be something where the future has changed, perhaps, and John Connor no longer matters. Maybe John Connor actually died. I don't know what's going on, guys. Honestly, I don't. But this trailer looked cool. Okay, you got some good action in there. As long as the story is solid, of course, I can see it going well. And whether this saves the Terminator franchise or not, I don't know. I like Tim Miller. I trust him as a director, and of course James Cameron is producing, but he's got his hands full on his million Avatar films that he's directing. So yeah, he can say it's James Cameron. He's gonna help it out, but I don't think he's spending much time on set or thinking about this film. It's really Tim Miller, and like I said, I trust Tim Miller, so of course I'm going to go see this film. Whether it'll save the franchise or not, we'll just have to wait and see, guys. But time for you to fire back, of course. Let me know what you think about this trailer. What do you think happened to John Connor? I'm curious about that, and who is this woman, Danny, they're trying to protect, and what her possible future could be. Facebook, Twitter, Dayspring at gmail.com. Let me know, guys. Alright, guys, let's get into the rest of the show here. Pretty much, I'm going to talk Star Wars the rest of the time. Vanity Fair came out yesterday with their Star Wars issue. Now, every time there's a new Star Wars movie that comes out, going back all the way to, I believe it was 1999 with The Phantom Menace, they have a special. They have a particular photographer who goes in and takes pictures on set. It's been the same photographer, I believe, all these years. I went online last night and then skimmed through the article myself while I was at the gymnastics practice with my daughter. So again, I was skimming through it. I didn't do a full read, of course, but with the pictures in the article, we got some good information as far as what we can expect, or an idea of what we can expect from Rise of Skywalker. And guys, I just want to go through some pictures, of course, talk a little bit about the article. You, of course, fire back on the social media groups and Gmail account. Let me know if you read it. Let me know what you think about it, and we'll go from there, guys. So let's start off, of course, with one of my favorite shots. I mean, there's some good ones in here, of course, but Millennium Falcon shot. You got Lando, and Lando is actually wearing his Solo wardrobe that Donald Glover wore, which I thought was kind of weird that he go back to this. I don't know if they're trying to pull in Solo a little bit more into this film. Who knows? But this picture is very reminiscent of the original picture we got from The Force Awakens Vanity Fair cover, where you had Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Harrison Ford, and I think it was Peter Mayhew was in that time, was in the Chewie costume, but they're sitting in the Falcon. Like, Oscar Isaac, who plays Poe Dameron, is sitting almost exactly like Harrison Ford in the original cover. That's, just kind of a throwback there. You also have the new droid in that shot as well. I forget what the droid's name is, but I'm sure by the end of the film, we'll all remember it fondly. Another one, you got J.J. Abrams here with a bunch of guys dressed in black, and in the caption, in the article, it says, "These are the Knights of Ren." These are the guys that we've been wondering about for 4 years now, where Kylo is the leader of the Knights of Ren. Well, these are the Knights of Ren. They look interesting. They look, maybe a little menacing. How much they're going to play in the film, I don't know. Are we going to see individual characters from them? Or are they just kind of like a goon squad, like the Foot Clan or something like that, where we really don't get into depth with the characters? But people were speculating, if we're actually ever going to see the Knights of Ren, and looks like we got our answer. So they're going to be in this film. Whether they're force sensitive or not, I think is kind of my question too, given the fact that they're attached to Kylo a little bit. Whether, again, they're going to be force users, I guess we'll wait and see. One of the things that I thought was cool in the article too was that they mentioned that Episode 9 is not only the closing of this trilogy, but Abrams is talking about how it's really the closing of 9 films. The saga, the Skywalker saga is what it's going to close up, which is, I think, great, because from this point on, I don't think we're getting any Skywalkers. We can have Rey and Finn and Poe continue their adventures, as Kathleen Kennedy said. I still don't think Rey's a Skywalker. Again, in the article, they said that the connection between Kylo and Rey is still there and that their bond might even grow deeper, perhaps. But I still don't think she's a Skywalker. I think the title is referring to something else. Now, whether Rey, like I said, my theory is that Rey adapts the name Skywalker, but she's really not Skywalker in blood. Now, we do get our first look at Kerry Russell's character in the movie. She's going to be known as Zora, and she's kind of a scoundrel from what the article says. We don't actually get to see her. She's got her helmet on. She looks cool, though, knowing it's Kerry Russell underneath there. Great actress. I know she's going to give a great performance, so I'm not too worried about it. Speaking of great actors that'll give great performances, Richard E. Grant is going to be in this film. You see in the picture, he's standing there with Hux. He's going to be playing Allegiant General Pride. I like how the name Pride is spelled because it reminds me of Kitty Pryde of the X-Men because it's spelled the exact same way. Whether he's going to be, Hux's superior from the way the picture looks, Hux is standing behind him like, he's in charge ahead of Hux, perhaps. Maybe this Pride guy is going to fight Kylo Ren for some power within the First Order. Maybe Kylo Ren doesn't even care, and he's too busy thinking about Rey and the dark side and other stuff. I don't know, but of course, Richard E. Grant, Kerry Russell on the team. It's never a mistake to add talent, and these two are about as talented as they come. Another shot, you see John Williams composing the score for The Rise of Skywalker, and in the background, you see a picture of Carrie Fisher, a.k.a. General Leia, and in the article, Abrams is talking about how he was still trying to incorporate the character into the movie, because the original plan was, with this new trilogy, you still had the original three involved. Han Solo was going to be very involved with The Force Awakens. Last Jedi was really about Luke, and then this last one was going to be very Leia-centered. Well, unfortunately, the passing of Carrie Fisher right after the filming of The Last Jedi kind of put a bit of a squash on that, so to speak. So Abrams was trying to figure out what to do, and he came with the idea of using a couple of deleted scenes from The Force Awakens that would still mesh. He messed with the lighting within the shot and was able to incorporate them into the film. Even got her daughter, Billie Lourd, to give her blessing on this, and actually she herself wanted to be in the scenes. Abrams was going to write her out of the scenes, but she wanted to be included, so I think that speaks volume as the kind of strong person that she is, so kudos for that. But yes, we're going to get Carrie Fisher in this film. We're going to get Leia in this film. I don't think it's going to be a lot, but her presence is going to be felt. I think she still might be kind of an integral part of the film. How it's going to end, of course, with her character, who knows? But, the fact that this was an issue that Abrams thought about and was able to work around to still keep to the original idea he had in his head about the story as much as he could. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out, guys. But, it's J.J. Abrams. He's a good storyteller, so I just got to have confidence in him at this point. Okay, and the two shots I want to talk about last. This one here, it's Rey and Kylo. And, we knew the showdown was coming, okay? Much like how Return of the Jedi, you knew the showdown between Vader and Luke was going to be the end. This is, something we saw coming. Now, allegedly, according to the article, it's been a year since the events of The Last Jedi. That's what I heard, actually, on another website. When I was skimming the article, I didn't see that, but I went to some website, and they said, yes, in the Vanity Fair article, it says it's been a year since The Last Jedi. So I'll just go off their word. Rey has obviously grown stronger in the Force. I'm sure she's been studying the books. Kylo, probably, somewhere brooding in the trailer. Looks like he's putting his helmet back together. And this shot here, they're fighting in the rain. When I was watching The Force Awakens a week or two ago, it was on TNT during the marathon for May the 4th, and there's Rey's vision. And everything in her vision, you can kind of see how it's come to fruition, whether it be past or present. But there's that spot where she sees Kylo in the rain killing people with looks like the Knights of Ren behind him. And we never saw that shot in the other two films. We can say maybe it's from the past, but what if it's from the future? What if this shot in the rain is what Rey saw? We know we're getting the Knights of Ren in this film, right? Okay, and we know obviously it's going to be raining and some kind of face-off between the two of them. What if that shot was obviously planned all those years ago for this scene, the climactic battle between the two of them? Now, the terrain looks a little different compared to what the vision was, I'll give you that, but it's an idea. It's something to explain the vision that Rey had all those years ago. If you think I'm on point or somewhere in the area, let me know. And then the last shot, of course, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself, in this bitchin' picture with R2-D2. Stuff's burning behind them, and people are trying to say with this picture, Luke didn't die. Luke didn't die. Dude, Luke died, okay? He's coming back as a Force ghost. I can almost guarantee it. Going back to The Last Jedi, where Rey and Kylo were seeing each other, and Kylo said, you can't be doing this. The strain alone would kill you. Letting you know that Force projecting is very straining and, takes up a lot of energy, okay? And then Luke, at the end of the film, goes and does it hardcore. And yes, he's powerful in the Force, but that line by Kylo early in the film lets you know that what Luke did, that final act to inspire hope in the galaxy again, cost him his life. It's just how it is. But he's coming back as a Force ghost. Obviously, he's in these pictures, so he's in this film. But this is just a badass scene. People were like, well, wait, he's got his glove on. Why does a ghost need a glove? Come on, guys. Really? Really? Okay. He's gone, okay? Accept it. Accept it. Know that he's going to be in the film. Maybe quite a bit as a Force ghost, perhaps. But accept he's gone. Accept his fate. And accept that he's still going to be in the film, guiding Rey as a Force ghost. Maybe even giving her some good advice along the way. But that's the Vanity Fair article. It amped up my excitement a little bit more, of course. The more I learn about the film, the more excited I get. We're still 7 months away, so it's going to be more and more as we move faster and faster towards the film. But it's Star Wars. It's Episode 9. I'm excited about it. Let me know what you think about this Vanity Fair article. Did you like the pictures? The Rey and Kylo Ren one is now my wallpaper on my computer. And then the Luke one would probably be the other one that I would choose as wallpaper. But in any event, guys, let me know what you think about the article, of course. Facebook group, Twitter account, Dayspring Discussions at gmail.com. And that is going to be it for me today, guys. Of course, go out and check out Brightburn and Aladdin and all those other good films. Let me know what you think about them, of course. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, just to let you know, the new seasons of Arrow and Flash just dropped on Netflix. The deal, of course, as it stands, is that a week after they air their season finale, they drop on Netflix, which means Supergirl and Legends Tomorrow are going to drop also pretty soon. I actually, again, stopped watching those shows about halfway through the season because I got tired of the commercials on the CW app, so I decided to wait. So I am going through Arrow first, and then Flash, and so on. So if you guys saw the season finales and want to talk about it, of course, hit me up on the Facebook group or wherever, and I'll be glad to talk about it and what I think about them. Just give you a little time to finish them, of course. But that's it, of course. As I said, go out, enjoy your week. And also, guys, if you enjoyed this episode or any other episodes, head over to my Patreon page and donate $1. Guys, it helps me to, watch movies and, justify the time I spend doing this. I love doing it, so if you don't want to donate, that's completely fine, guys. I just want to talk about this stuff, but if you give me $1 a month, it goes a long way. Trust me, it'll, really help, guys. But that's it, of course. You can find me personally on Twitter and Instagram, SlimDayspring12. Enjoy the weekend, and until next time, guys, may the Force be with us all.